भजति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भीतिनाशनं द्विषतां कालदण्डन्तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् नमः कोदण्डहस्ताय सन्धिकृतशराय च खण्डिताखिलदैत्याय रामायापन्निवारिणे रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः हयग्रीव हयग्रीव हयग्रीवेति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत् मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् शारदा शारदाम्भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं क्रियात् बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमत्स्मरणात् भवेत् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि असाध्यसाधकस्वामिन् असाध्यं तव किं वद रामदूतदयासिन्धो मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभो श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः श्रीहरये नमः जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम नमः सदसे नमः सदसस्पतये नमः सखीनां पुरोगाणां चक्षुषे नमो दिवे नमः पृथिव्यै सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः श्रीपतेः परमकारुणिकस्य अव्याजकरुणामूर्तेः परवासुदेवस्य श्री सीता लक्ष्मण भरत शत्रुघ्न हनुमत् समेत अंगोपांग देवता परिवार सहित श्री रामचंद्र मूर्तेः परम करुणया श्रीमद् वाल्मीकि रामायण नवाह पारायणाख्य ब्रह्मसत्रं ज्ञान यज्ञं प्रवर्तते तत्र अद्य द्वितीय दिनं प्रचलिष्यमाणः वर्तते purely by the grace of Bhagavan Lord Sri Rama, by the kripa of our acharyas, gurus, parents, well-wishers and all elders, the great Jnana Yajna Parayanam of Valmiki Ramayanam Tadangatvena, this Upanyasa is also happening. सर्वेभ्यः तदर्थं स्वागतं व्याहरामि रामायणस्य महत्त्वम् अस्माभिः ह्यः दृष्टं yesterday we saw the greatness of Ramayana how Ramayana is purely Veda tulya Ramayana and Veda there is no difference between any of this वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना when the Paramatma came and took an avatara as Lord Rama, Bhagavan Rama, Vedas took the avatara as Ramayana. Tadrisha Shaktihi Vartate Ramayanasya Pratyakshare Api. In every letter there is so much of power packed in this Ramayana. We saw the shloka Charitam Raghunathasya Shatakoti Pravistaram ekaikamksharam pumsam mahapataka-nashanam. Tarhi, how is Ramayana placed in our Bharatiya Jnana Parampara? So today, one of the most buzzword which is happening across the country is IKS, Indian Knowledge System, Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, which encompasses within it the entire knowledge of Sanskritam, Samskritihi, Samskarah. All of this are in one very, very vast landscape, probably a landscape which cannot fit in this geography sometimes. That is the landscape which it has. And within that, if we see, we can see that Ramayana occupies one of the most strategic, important, powerful, divine position. Katham, how? So let us see the Indian knowledge systems. This is one very, very, very important aspect which all of us as Indians should know and be proud of, and be able to share it in conversation with any person internal to the Bharata Desha or even external, and show the greatness of our rishis and the forefathers who have done so much of work. So, Prathamataya, we have a Chaturdasha Vidyasthana, or the 18 Vidyasthanas. Within that, if we see, this is a very, very rough chart. Putting the entire Indian knowledge systems into one chart is very difficult, but a very, very illustrative rough chart is what is being presented just to show the position of Ramayana. So, Prathamataya, Sarvatra Adyatve, we have the Vedas, Vedaha, from the Bhagavataha Sahishri Amrita Satam. That is the definition of Veda. So the 4 Vedas are there, and the 6 Vedangas. In the Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sama, Atharva, Vedaha. Within that, each Veda has the Brahmana, Samhita, Aranyaka, Upanishad Bhagaha. And for their Samrakshanam, we have the Vikriti Pathaha also. The Prakriti Vikriti Pathas are also there. That is the Veda part. Vedangas, Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandaha, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Kalpaha. These are the 6 Vedangas which are essential to understand the Vedas. And then we have the Upavedas, we have the Upangas, and then we have other Shastras, Kavyas, which are unlimited. Then we have the regional texts. Each region, the southern region, northern region, within that, the Dravida Deshas, Andhra Deshas, Keraliyaha, Maharashtra. So each Desha has a very, very, very rich tradition, knowledge which is present. Then we have the 64 Kalas, which is beautifully defined. Chatushashti Kalaha. Of course, within the list, there are a little bit of Matabheda, but still the 64 is a very good list. Apart from this, we have the various undocumented traditions, practices, principles, customs, which are there, and these are also unlimited. All of these put together and more of these will compass the Indian knowledge systems. So we saw the Vedangas, the 4 Upavedas corresponding to each of the Vedas, Ayurveda, part of the Rig Veda. Of course, as per the Shaunaka's Charana Vyuha, there is a little bit of differentiation that Ayurveda, Arthashastra are interchangeably used between Rig Veda and Atharva Veda. So Ayurveda, part of Rig Veda, Dhanurveda, part of Yajurveda, Gandharva Veda, very logically part of Samaveda, Arthashastra, part of the Atharva Veda. When we come to the Upangas, we have Mimamsa Shastram, Nyaya Shastram, the Puranas, and Dharma Shastra. This is one way of representing it. When we say Puranani, it represents the Ashtadasha Mahapuranani. Ashtadasha Upapuranani and the Itihasa Dvayam, which is Ramayanam, Mahabharatam Cheti. So if we see where is the position of Ramayana within this entire Indian knowledge system, very beautifully across, after all the Veda, Vedanga, Upaveda, in the Upanga, we get the Ramayana, and it stands just after all of this. And it stands before a Mahabharata, Dharmashastra, Kavya Granthas, regional texts, Kalas, and other traditions, everything. And therefore, it sits as the Madhyamani or the Hridaya Praya. The heart content is Ramayana. So, which is where when we read the Ramayana regularly and do a Nitya Parayanam, study it again and again, the beauty of Ramayana, when we do a Parayanam, most of us would have experienced, is the same book, Grantha is same. Srimad Ramayana-kyoyam pratyaksho Ramayevahi. That is Rama by itself. And when we take the book and start doing Parayana, Rama starts conversing with us. Valmiki starts talking to us. And though the page number is same, the font size is same, font color is same, the akshara are same, but every time we do the Parayana, new bhavas, new arthas, it keeps showing, revealing itself and giving the understanding, a deeper understanding of the entire tattva. So when we read the Ramayana, it actually brings or consolidates the entire Veda Jnana, Vedanga Jnana, Upaveda Jnana, all the Shastra Jnana into it. So till then, whatever was available, all gets consolidated into Ramayana. And from then, Param Kavinam Adharam. It becomes the base Grantha for all the future activities or all the future text Grantha, tradition, practices, which is going to happen from then. So that is where the unique position, Madhyamani, it sits there as a Hridaya Mani, and that is the greatness of Ramayana, which we can experience as and when we keep doing the Parayana. The other representation, if you see, this is one popular representation, Veda, Upaveda, Vedangani, the Darshanani is also there. And Itara Shastrani, when we say Dharma Shastram, Itihasaha, and then the Puranani, Upa Puranani, Bhakti Shastram, then the Drishya Shravya Kavyam is also there. But here also, Itihasa, within that Ramayana, sits in the center as a Hridaya Rupa. This itself shows how the greatness of Ramayana and how there is an important urgency to take up Ramayana and involve ourselves fully into this Ramayana. Ramayanasya mahatvam drishtva Sundarakandam prati agacchamaha. Hyaha asmabihi prathamah shlokaha patitaha. Tato Ravananitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pathi. Here we saw that this is the shloka within the Navaratna, signifying the Manikya Ratna and propitiating Bhagavan Surya Deva. What other Sudinam day can we be on this day when all of us have assembled here? Out of 8 billion people, a few hundreds are sitting here on this Makara Sankramana Mahapunya Kala, Uttarayana Agamana Mahapunya Kala, the Surya Dinam which is there. On this day, we are enjoying and experiencing the power of Surya through Surya Deva's Paramashishya, which is Hanuman. Tato Ravananitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pathi. Yesterday, we saw some of the greatness of this shloka. To start off with, how Takara is the Mangala Pradaha. Takara is in the form of Nandi Rupa. We saw that Vastu, Namaskriya, Ashirvadatmaka. These are the 3 types of Nandis which are generally used by poets to start their Kavya And the first can be describing the kavya, which is Vastu Nirdeshatmaka Nandi. And then you can have a Namaskriatmaka Nandi, doing a Namaskara. And the third one can be Ashirvadatmaka Nandi. As we experience this shloka later, we will see that this is one shloka or one Nandi Prarthana which encompasses all three types into one shloka in one form itself. That is the greatness of Tato Ravana Nitayaha Vighna Nivarakaha Takaraha Yataha Shatru Pradesham Gachati Hanuman. He has to cross various hurdles, obstacles, and all these Vignas have to be removed. And therefore, Valmiki starts with Tato Ravana Nitayaha, going to the enemy location, unknown place, trying to find Sita Mata. Going alone is not easy. To make the entire process Ananda Purna, Saukhya Purna, Takaraha Upayujyate, Valmiki Maharshina, Tato Ravana Nitayaha, Karya Siddhi Pradaha Takaraha. So, whatever with that Sankalpa, because just we will see in detail later also, just before this, in a few moments earlier, all the Vanaras had taken a very difficult decision about their lives. They had decided for Prayopavesha, Atma, finishing their Atma or Jivanam itself. Such a very difficult state to where now Hanuman is now jumping, taking the Sagara Langhanam. He needs that Karya Siddhi, that confidence. Tadartham Tato Ravana Nitayaha. So, Takara has so much of power, and that power is again and again confirmed by Valmiki. The first example we saw was for the entire Ramayana Grantha, Takara has been used for the first shloka, first letter. Tapaswadhyaya niratam. Why? We saw that it is the first akshara of Gayatri mantra. Gayatri mantra is the expansion of Pranavakara, Omkara, which is the entire form or single Rupa of the entire Vedas. Taittiriya Upanishad has a very detailed section on Omkara Mahima itself. So, from there, Gayatri mantra and the first letter is taken. And we also saw how 24,000 shlokas starting with each 1,000, starting with each letter of Gayatri mantra. So that is the power of Takara. We also saw that Takara is the 16th letter in Varnamala. 16 represents Shodashakala Purushaha, which is Bhagavan. And there we saw the reference from Prashnopanishad, where very detailed the Vyahritis, the Shodashakala, and all of these have been defined. Similarly, in Taittiriya Upanishad, Bhashya Vartika, in those places also it is defined in detail. Going into that will become more transgression. So we will just give the reference. Interested learners can always look at it. Another important Vyakhyana. So many of the Vyakhyana sources of what we are sharing is from three main Vyakhyanas. There are many Vyakhyanas for Ramayanam. Mainly we are taking the Tilaka, Shiromani, Bhushana Vyakhyanas, and all the rich source from various elders who have done tapas, meditation on this Valmiki Ramayanam through their entire lives and transferred that rich knowledge to their Sishyas in the Parampara. Within that one Vyakhyana talks about this, wherein Sundarakanda is also the center portion of the entire Ramayana. Just before this, exactly 12,000 shlokas have been completed. And after completing that half, the second half is starting now. Atra Ekadasha Sahasra Shlokaha Gataha Dvadasha Sahasrasya Adimoyam Shlokaha. And within that, what Valmiki very carefully does is Atra गायत्र्याः द्वादशमक्षरं प्रयुक्त तदवलोकनीयं विद्वद्भिः, says Govindarajar in the Bhushana Vyakhyana. Govindaraj.
राम 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 सर न श्रूयते। प्रायः लीव् कृत्वा एकवारं
एकवारम्
प्रयत्नं
आगच्छामि वा?
इदानीं श्रूयते इदानीं श्रूयते
श्रूयते वा?
आमां श्रूयते
राम राम राम। अस्तु। भयकृत् भयनाशनः सः एव मध्ये मध्ये क्रीडति। अस्तु। कियत् पर्यन्तं श्रुतम् इति न जाने, परं विषयः तु प्रायेण दृश्यते इति मन्ये। तत्र मेन्ली we are seeing that tataha, this shloka has been used in the important ghattas, which is the payasa pradhanam, tato narayano vishnuhu, and then ramadhyavatarah. From slide 8-9 it can hear now. 5 minutes na shrutam kila. Astu, slide 8 va. Itaha the Gayatri mantra portion and all we could hear, I think.
आम् सर्
From here. So payasa pradhanam. Okay. So Asma, we are discussing that tataha has been used in important ghattas, and especially in the Ramadhyavataraha we saw this beauty wherein tato yagne samapte tu ritunam shat samatyayuhu tatascha dvadashe mase chaitre navamike tithau. So the same shloka has 4 takaras, 2 couplets of tataha tataha. One reason which Bhagavan inspires us to understand is 4 takaras, 4 janmas are happening. Ramadhyavatarah, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. And that also not all 4 are together. One takara with the other takara, wherein Lakshmana always with Rama, Shatrughna always with Bharata. Tato yagne samapte tu tatascha dvadashe mase. Very beautifully, some of these places have been composed by Valmiki Maharshi. Similarly, Tatasitam Samaniya during the Vivaha, Pattabhisheka, Tatastu Bharata Shriman, Sugriva Pattabhisheka, Tato Haima Pratisthane, and then Samudra Langhanam, which we are experiencing now, Tato Ravana Nitayaha, Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha, Yesha Padamanveshtum, Charana Charite Pathi. And then Sita Darshana Samaye, Tato Malina Samvitam, during Chudamani, Tato Vastragatam Muktva, Divyan Chudamanim Shubham. And in the Samashvasanam Upasamhara Shloka, Tato Maya Vagbhiradina Bhashina, Shiva Birishta Bhirabiprasadita, Jagama Shantim Mama Maitilatmaja, Tavapi Shokena Tada Bhipidita. Just listening to these shlokas with that bhakti shraddha will cleanse us, will purify us, will bring so much of positive energy into us and make us blissful beings. Continuing that, Aditya Hridayam Tato Yuddha Parishrantam Samare Chintaya Sthitam Ravanancha Grato Drishtva Yuddhaya Samupasthitam. And in the Pattabhisheka, Tatassa Prayato Vridhaha Vasishtho Brahmanai Saha Ramam Ratnamaye Pithe Sahasitanyaveshayat. So we see that Tataha is so important that Valmiki himself, through the power of Bhagavan Narada, who through the power of the Shatakoti Pravistaram Brahma Ramayana, which has come by the Anugraha of Parabrahma himself, they have chosen Tataha in these important incidents and locations. Continuing, Tataha, Bhashyakaras, the commentators say, Tataha means, we saw the overall meaning, but don't just see this meaning of this shloka alone. See the context of this shloka from where all of this has started. So the Purva Katha Prasangaha has to be remembered by you, O Sadhaka. So therefore, Tato Ravana Nitayaha, Valmiki tells us. What is that Purva Katha Prasanga Mahodaya? If we ask, Where did all of this start from? Aranya Kanda we have to go, where we have the Maya Mriga Prasanga. Maricha comes in the form of a Maya Mriga, and at that time, Sita, there is a Rama Leela and a Sita Leela which happens. Sita sees that Maya Mriga and decides that it is already almost more than around 13 years. We are coming to closely to 13 years. Rama Avatara Karya is still pending and some Leela has to happen. And therefore, this Leela happens wherein Sita Mata, who always considers Rama as the greatest and nothing else can actually motivate Sita Mata, she appears to be Charmana Hritachetana, to be attracted to a skin. Of which skin? A deer skin. Uvacha Sita Sambhrishta Charmana Hritachetana. This for Sita it is a Leela, but for all of us sadhakas, it is a great lesson to be learnt. Many of us during the sadhana get distracted through the charmana, hrita chetana. So Sita was also enchanted by the skin of the deer. And at that time, her viveka, which is that sense of discrimination, was lost. And she tells Rama, what does she tell Rama? Aryaputra, hey Aryaputra, Abhiramaha Asau. She has Sri Rama in front of her. But she says, this deer seems to be Abhirama, more Rama for me. Mrigo harati me manaha anayainam mahabaho kridarthanno bhavishyati. That is the moment when in the Leela, the impact of Kama is shown for every sadhaka, how Kama works and how it removes even that Rama who is in front of us, who is along with us, who is in us, within us. We actually tend to get distracted by one Abhirama, appearing to be Abhirama, Kanchana Mriga. That is one incident which happens within that place. Then when Rama goes behind the Mriga and Maricha gives a false cry, Sita decides that still Lakshmana being there, the main Leela cannot happen. So she shows the other Rupa. In Bhagavad Gita, Tamodwarais or Narakadwaram, there is, the door has two portions, Narakadwara. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajo guna samudbhavaha. So Kama, Krodha, two doors for the Naraka. So Kama is finished now. Now Krodha Leela has to happen. So what she does, she starts scolding Lakshmana Swami, the Parama Bhagavata who is standing there for to do the Kainkarya of Rama. She starts using harsh words. Sudushtastam vane ramamekame nu gacchasi mama hetoho pratichannaha. In a hiding secret way, you have come either by yourself or being sent by Bharata as an agent of Bharata, and you are actually trying to get that Rajya Lakshmi and also me who is the Mahalakshmi. And then she says, if you do not go to Rama now, what I will do? Now she uses the Samadana Beda Danda, all tricks to send Lakshmana away. Godavarim pravekshyami vina ramena Lakshmana abandishye thavatyakshe vishame dehamatmanah iti Lakshmana makrushya Sita dukkha samanvita. So all of this entire prasanga, Sita Apaharana Prasanga, starts here, and that starts with one Kama incident of Kanchana Mriga, a Krodha incident of scolding Lakshmana, and also scolding a Bharata who was not even present there and who didn't even know what is happening. Great Apavada, Apachara was done through this. And this 10 minutes of Kama Krodha ensured or resulted in a 10-month separation from Rama and Purna Dukkha Sthiti. So, through this tataha, when we read that tato ravana nitayaha, that nitayaha, nayanatvam, how did it happen? That carrying away, apaharanam, how it happened? Because of this Kamakrodha Prasanga in the Aranya Kanda, and therefore, O Sadhaka, keep repeating this shloka so that you don't fall into the trap of Kamakrodha. Tato Ravana Nitaya Sitaya Shatru Karshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pati. Similarly, Shivasahaya, in the Shiromani Vyakhyana, he says, Jambavat Kartaka Sagara Taranodeshyaka Protsahana Anantarakalikam Vrittantam Aha Tata Ityadibihi Shabdaihi. So, come to Kishkinda Kanda also. There is one more important incident or lesson to know, which is referred by this shloka Tato Ravana Nitayaha. It starts Kishkinda Kanda, of course, Sugriva Sakhyam, Vali Vadaha, all of this happen. And then Hanumat, Sugriva, Vanara Preshanam. In the 4 directions, 4 sargas are there. Each sarga, which is like a geography manual of the entire world atlas manual, if we want, during the times of the Treta Yuga, Ramayana Kala, we can refer those 4 sargas in Kishkinda Kanda. Prachi Preshanam, Pratichi Preshanam, Dakshina Preshanam, Udichi Preshanam, all these 4 sargas are there. And Sugriva is sending all the Vanaras with leaders. Out of that, the Dakshina Dik team has the most powerful team because they have a sense through Jatayu Vakya and through the seeing that Ravana went in the southern direction. Most probably somewhere through the southern direction, we may get a good news. That is a sense which they already had. And therefore, the most powerful team, the team of Angada, Jambavan, Hanuman, Gajaha, Gavakshaha, Gavayaha, Sharabaha, Gandhamadanaha, Maindaha, Dvividaha, Sushenaha. All of these, each of them are like, see, individually they can finish the entire Ravana Yuddha actually. That is the power. This team actually comes in the southern direction. But what happens after all the searching, after the Swayamprabha incident also, they come to the end of the shore, seashore, and then they don't know where to go further. And this most powerful team also gets dejected, disappointed, depressed, and they consider doing Prayopavesha. So most powerful people can also get some moments of despair. But that is the time what we should do is the lesson given by this incident, wherein you can even see in this picture, very beautiful picture. This vulture is actually sitting and waiting that once these people actually do Prayopavesha and their Jivana is no more, it can get food enough for a longer time. It is sitting and waiting. And that is when what happens in the 55th Sarga of Kishkinda Kanda, Valmiki describes, they were sitting together and they started discussing Ramayana amongst themselves. Ramasya vanavasancha kshayan dasharathasya cha janasthana vadanchaiva jatayushaha harananchaiva vaidehyaha valinascha vadhamrane ramakopancha vadatam harinam bhayamagatam. So they were discussing this Ramayana. Very beautifully, Brahmashri Mahodaya explains this incident in his Upanyasam, wherein they start discussing the reason of why today their Prayopavesha Jivana Anta is going to happen. Who is the cause of all this? In a very nice discussion it happens actually. So one monkey purportedly at that time says, the reason for all of this is Manthara. Nicely that Yovarajya Pattabhisheka was decided. that could have happened and people could have been happily sitting there. Rama would have done the Ramarajya and none of this would have happened. Manthara is the cause of all our disappointment, despair, depression, and what we are going to take this decision on our life now. Another monkey says, no, 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 it is not Manthara. Manthara tells 100 things, but where is this Kaikeyi? She was the smartest of all the queens of Dasharatha. So she should know what is Kutaniti, what is Dharmaniti, and what should be followed, what should not be followed. How did she get influenced by one Manthara? So it is because of Kaikeyi, all of this is happening to us today. Another monkey says, no, 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 it is not Kaikeyi. It is Dasharatha actually. Because Dasharatha was a greatest king. When later or even in the Balakanda, when we see the description of Dasharatha, Shashtim Varsha Sahasrani, 60,000 years he has ruled over the entire earth with its boundaries as the oceans through the Ikshvaku Kula. He has been ruling. And how could he accept a weak moment of two varas from Kaikai? He could have always told that this is a very old vara. It is not active anymore and it has been inactive, dormant. So this cannot be given. But he didn't tell like that. Then one more monkey says, no, no, Kausalya Mata could have been more affirmative and stopped Rama. No, no, the other person says, why should Rama be a good son to his father? If he had been like all of us, who we don't listen, then they also could have said, no, no, you are telling something wrong. I have the rules which are there. Jeshta Putra only has to rule. And even Bharata also wants me to rule. The people want me to rule. That is correct. We have all the proper logic and reasons to confirm to Dasharatha, and he could have taken that decision. No, so Rama only they say. Then they say, no, no. One more monkey says, Sita is the reason. Why? Rama had got to go for forest. Nava panchacha varshani pravrajito vanam Ramasya. It was only for Rama. Sita could have just stayed there for 14 years and been in the Ayodhya. Sita Aparna would not at all have happened. So Sita today's Parayana, Rama explains, Tato dukkhataro vanam, tasmad dukkhataro vanam. One entire sarga is dedicated for explaining the dukkha's or difficulties in the forest. After that also Sita again and again tells like a child that I want to come with you. So she comes only because of her. The other monkey said, no, no, no. Rama, Sita have to be together, Pa. Why you are unnecessarily scolding Sita? It is all the problem of Lakshmana. When Rama and Sita are coming to forest together, and if they had come together, Rama would not have left Sita and gone behind Maricha. He would have carried her also. Both of them would have gone together. No Aparana would have happened. Just because one Lakshmana was there, he left and went. And this Lakshmana also kept telling, just like Sita, Agrataste Gamishyami, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I will do all your activities. I will bring Phalam Aharishyami. I will do all your work. What was the need? He is Parabrahma, he knows everything, he can take care of himself. No. The Lakshmana is the person reason. That is what one monkey says. The other monkey says, all that is not reason. They, three of them came, that is also fine. They were staying very cozily in the Panchavati. This Bharata came from Chitrakuta and later they come to Panchavati. Bharata comes all the way and finds this place where they are sitting and exposes their location to the entire Paurajana and takes the Paduka and goes away. Now, if people get to know that Rama, Sita, Lakshmana are there, every day visiting hours, one manager will be sitting and they'll be managing the time only. And then that whole Vanavasa would not have been as a Vrata itself. Therefore, they come to Dandakaranyam and deeper into the forest where Shurpanaka came. And where Then they say Ravana. Ravana is the reason because he only did Apaharanam. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. Then they say that Maricha is the reason. Why? Because if Maricha had convincingly told the second time also and sent Ravana back, even the second time, he got fear and he said it is better to die in hands of Rama and get mukti than to die in the hands of Ravana. So he also saw one Swartha and took that form. So Maricha is the reason. No, no, no. All of this is fine, pa. It is actually Jatayu who is the reason. If Jatayu had been a little bit more stronger, doing more exercises, if he had been stronger, and he could have just prevented that Ravana properly and protected Sita Mata for a few more minutes, they could have come back and this whole incident would not have happened. And at this time, two things happened. By telling this and discussing this, the entire Ramayana summary has been discussed, told, heard, internalized by the Vanaras. First thing which happened. Because of this, what happened, we will see. The second thing, when the word Jatayu was heard, that vulture whom we saw in the previous pictures, waiting for all these Vanaras to do Prayopavesha, suddenly became a friend to them and asked, who is this Jata? Who is talking about Jatayu, my brother? What happened to him? He understands the entire story and he says, if you are all friends of Rama, who is a friend of Jatayu, who is a friend of Dasharatha, I am also your friend. I can see that Sita Mata there. Don't get into despair. Please prepare to go and search for Sita Mata. So by just remembering, doing Ramayana Smaranam itself, they got solution to their problem and they came out of that apparent Prayopavesha incident. In the Vishnu Sahasranamam, there are multiple Bhashyams commentary. Shankara Bhashyam is also there. Parashara Bhattar has done a very beautiful Bhashyam, Vaishnava Parabhashyam. In that, after the 390th Nama, from where Parardhif Paramaspashtaha Tushtaf Pushta, from there where it starts, that is the 391st Nama. From there, Ramacharitam starts. And when Ramacharitam starts, the Avataranika or the preface word what Parashara Bhattar, who had seen or who was seeing Ranganatha every day in Sri Rangam and talking to that Ranganatha just like we talk to each other, that Parashara Bhattar wrote this phrase, Atha Mrita Sanjeevanam Ramacharitam Prachakshate. This is a guarantee given by our rishis. Anybody in any difficulty with respect to their life, a Ramayana Smarana, Parayana, Shravana with bhakti devotion will act itself as a Mrita Sanjeevanam. That is the power of Ramayana, and Ramayanam is the best medicine for depression. It is the best antidepressant which anybody can use in their life. That is what this entire incident says. And that is what Tato Ravana Nitaya Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pathi. That is what, so Tataha when they say, and when Bhashyakaras tell us, don't just look at this shloka, look at the previous context in which all of this happening. Take lessons from that, connected to this shloka, to Sundarakanda, you will get more lessons for your life. Then another Bhashyakara, Nagesha Bhatta, in the Tilaka Vyakhyana, says, Atha Samudra Kurdana Michyatisma Tata Iti. By using the word Tata, we can see that Hanuman has decided by the prerana of Jambavan to do the Sagara Langhanam. When Sampati gives the location of Sita and they decide that 100 yojanas have to be crossed, in that Kishkinda Kanda Sarga we can see Gaja 10 yojanas, Gajo Gavakshaha 20, Gavayaha 30, Sharabaha 40, Gandhamadanaha 50, Gajo Gavaksho Gavayaha Sharabaha Gandhamadanaha Maindaha Dividaha Neelaha 60, 70, 80. Then Jambavan tells 90, Angada tells 100, but I don't know if I can come back. This is how they all talk about the Samudra Langhana, but none of them could actually, there was no difference between a 10 yojana jumper to a 90 yojana or a 100 person who cannot come back. All are same only. That is, they cannot complete the task. But there is one person who can complete the task, and that is Hanuman. And that Hanumantaha Mahatvam Suchayati Idam Padam. This word shows the greatness of that Hanuman who decided and confirmedly who could do that work and who got inspired. Atha Samudra Kurdanam Ichchati Langhanam Kartum Ichchati Iti Padam Iti Vishayam Darshayati Etat Padam Tato Ravana Nitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha. So, in the last shloka of Kishkinda Kanda, when we see, this is also given by the Bhashyakara, at least for the few shlokas, the intention was that let us take Bhashya Vakyas and experience this. These are Bhashya Vakyas by commentators, those commentators who have vast Shastric knowledge, Ramopasana, Rama Bhakti, and to whom the Rishis and Valmiki and the Rishis and Rama speaks to them. They have written the commentaries, and that commentary gives us or shows us the light how to experience this Ramayana. So here Bhashyakara says, Purvasmin Kande Manassamadhaya Mahanubhavaha Jagamalankam Manasa Manasvi. Last shloka, last line of Kishkinda Kanda is given where one title is already given. This is like even before the task, this title was given by Valmiki to Hanuman. The title is called Mahanubhava. A very popular bhajan goes like this. He Ramaduta, He Ramabhakta, He Ramadasa, Namo Namo, Sita Matuhu, Shoka Vinashaka, Anathanatha, Namo Namo, Marutatanaya Mahanubhava, Ati Balavan Te Namo Namo, He Ramaduta, He Ramabhakta, He Ramadasa, Namo Namo. From here, that Nama Sankirtanam is taken, Mahanubhavaha. But how did he become Mahanubhava? Why did this title be given even before he even did it? Is it not wrong on the part of Valmiki to give this? No, because at that time he had also already done one activity. What? Manassamadhaya Mahanubhavaha. He had decided by that manas, he had controlled it, and through his manas power, he already went once to Lanka, seen everything and come back. Jagama Lankam Manasa Manasvi. That is the speed or Manasa Jagama power which Hanuman tells us. That is any activity, any work, any project, any parayanam, anything when we do in our life, if we practice this Manasa Jagama concept, wherein we go through the entire activity project in our mind once, how it actually would unfurl, and then start planning and taking all the activities or precautions, pre-steps, then the activity becomes more successful. So he has already done that mentally. Now he has to idanim kayenapi gamanam kartum aichat evam ityaha tato ravana nitayaha Sitaya Shatrukarshanaha Yesha Padamanveshtum Charana Charite Pathi. This one shloka tells us that whenever an activity is given, don't just jump into the activity. First sit calmly, understand the gunadosha of the activity, the risks involved. This is a beautiful classic shloka to help us in risk management. Today, risk management, internal controls, Sarbanes-Oxley controls, internal control frameworks are one of the most important part in any corporate circle. And all of this we have to sit and analyze. That is what this shloka is also teaching us. And then when we get into it to do the activity physically, then we will achieve success. We will not be vichalified. We will not be shaken by any untoward happenings. Even in Vedanta, this they give the example of one person trying to fill a bottle with water. Suddenly, if somebody comes and just pushes him or threatens him, he does it. That fellow will actually drop the water or spoil the bottle itself. But if there is already a mental preparation when he is actually pouring the water that somebody may come, let me be alert. And if something happens also, I will not shake myself. He is more ready in his life in filling that water. A classical modern case, which is often told by our Anna, Venkat Mahodaya, is a construction of a flyover in Delhi, a very large flyover, wherein two developers were given the tender. One person from one country came and had 6 months to do that work. They started the work in the first month itself and they were trying to do the work. Parallelly, the other next flyover, which was given to another country person, that person took 5 months just for planning. And in the last month, they finished the flyover itself with 5 more days to spare. Not taking names and countries because it is a recorded session. But that is the power of Manasa Jagama. And that Manasa Jagama we can inculcate in our life by the power of the Sundarakandam, by the power of Hanuman, by the power of Ramanama, Ramayana, and Bhagavan Rama. All of this we get to understand by the shloka. Tato Ravananitayaha. We also saw that Takara is the 16th letter in Varnamala, 16th in Gunitakshara, 16 into 1 by 16 becomes 1. Therefore, Takaraha shows that it is Purnatvam, or Tataha defines the Purnatvam. It is one complete. It is not a fraction or a ratio. It is one complete. For whom? Anjaneya attained Purnatvam, Sita Mata attained Purnatvam. Once he comes back and gives the message, Rama attained Purnatvam. And by doing sadhana of this Grantha, all the bhaktas, we will attain Purnatvam. That is what is told in this Tataha. And as we saw, Tataha grammatically is an avyayam which does not vary in any linga, in any vibhakti, in any vachana, and that is that Parabrahma Swarupa who does not change. And we also, by following that, Tulya Nindastutir Mauni Santushto Yena Kenachit Sukha Dukhe Same Kritva Labha Labhau Jaya Jayo Samashatrau Cha Mitre Cha Tatha Manapamanayoho. All Gita shlokas talk about this only. That Abhyayatva, Samachittatva, Sthita Pragyatva we have to attain in our life, which Hanuman attained, which we can get by practicing the Sundarakanda or the Ramayana. And therefore, Tato Ravananitayaha. We have more aspects to discuss on Tataha itself. On the Tato Ravananitaya, we'll try to complete this shloka at least in the first part of tomorrow. And then what we will do is, we will also try to go to all the other aspects also. And as we see, the project what we are trying to do is the Navaratnam. There are what we are going to cover, at least people yesterday were asking. So at least if we will just take 1 more minute and understand what we are planning to cover actually. Right? So here we have the Navaratnas which are there, which we by Rama grace we will be seeing. So the first shloka, Manikyam, Surya shloka we are seeing Tato Ravana Nitayaha. The next shloka is Yasyatvetani Chatvari Vanarendra Yathatava. 4 qualities of Hanuman are being praised by the Charanas. If we just inculcate these 4 qualities, then no one can defeat us. No karya will be impossible for us. That is again, this is the next Mukta Phalam, the Pearl shloka. Anirveda Shriyo Moolam. The main antidepressant medicine is this Anirveda Shriyo Moolam. That is why it is also in the form of a capsule. Red coral, Vidrumam, Mangala Graha Preeti. Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya is the Marakata Mani shloka which we are going to experience. And then the Pushparaga is or Brihaspati. Brihaspati is a Mahatma. So a Mahatma Sambandhi shloka is given. Priyanna Sambhave Dukkham Namastesham Mahatmanam. That shloka we will be trying to discuss. And Shukra Vajra. Who is the greatest Vajra? Rama Vajra. Rama is the greatest diamond anybody can have in our life. Rama Ratnam. Many shlokas are there. Vande Rama Ratnam. Rama Ratnam is the greatest Ratnam. All these stones which people are advertising are just Arthapara, Artham Anartham. But Rama Vajram, Rama Ratnam, if we gift it to somebody, that is real Ratnam. And that is shloka we are going to see. Rama Kamala Patraksha, the qualities of Rama. And Neelam, which is Shani. If you have to win over Shani, we need that power of Jayatyati Balo Ramaha. This is a war cry which was given by Hanuman when he was doing Dvamsa of all the Rakshasas. That is the Neela Ratnam, Navaratnam. Finally, Yadyasti Patisushrusha, which is Gomedhakam for Rahu, and Nivritta Vanavasam Chatvaya Sardham Arindamam Abhishiktam Ayodhyayam Kshipram Drakshasi Raghavam. Completing with the Pattabhisheka, Abhishiktam Ayodhyayam, these 9 Ratnas from Sundarakanda, showing the 9 grahas. And in that also, this is the last but one shloka of the 68th Sarga of Sundarakanda, Nivritta Vanavasamcha. We will try to see how much we can experience each of these shloka. We have taken some time in Tato Ravana Nitayaha. We will try to finish tomorrow and take this forward. Ananta Dhanyavadaha. Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha. Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam. Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu. By Rama Prerana, Rama makes us speak, Rama makes us hear. We will try to experience all of this. Ananta Dhanyavada to all of you. A very, very Shubha Makara Sankramana Uttarayana Punyakala. Let us try to do more sadhana in this Uttarayana Punyakala. Ram Ram Ram. Dhanyavada.